Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Demoniacal fit Kaioken Goku, aka the Scarlet martial artist. So let's get a quick look at the box before looking at the figure. We got some really cool artwork right there for the actual Kaioken Goku. Scarlet martial artist right there. The set is made by Demoniacal Fit. There, we got some really nice poses right there for the actual SH Figure Arts, well, not Figure Arts, Demoniacal Fit Kaioken Goku. And, you know, you practically see the back. There's the bottom. We don't really care about the box as usual. So let's just get right into the figure. Alright, so taking a closer look at this Demoniacal Fit Kaioken Goku. And I gotta say, they've definitely stepped up their game ever since their their Demoniacal Fit Captain Ginyu figure. The joints are so much tighter on this thing. It actually feels a lot in certain areas than SH Figure Arts. But then you also get into certain aspects of the figure that remind you, yeah, this is from a bootleg company, and this is made from Demoniacal Fit. But starting off with a lot of the great things about it first is I really like how they managed to take the paint job from the SDCC Kaioken Goku and put it into their own 2.0 version. Like, I'm honestly really impressed with just how well the paint came out. So looking at the back right there, you got some really nice shading going all the way through this figure. It really, I feel like they've just absolutely killed it with the paint and everything on there. There is a little bit of an issue right here, though, which isn't necessarily with the paint, but if you see right here, if you look at this foot, you can't really see the peg in there because it's the same color, so that totally blends in. But right here, you might be able to make out that they actually did they gave me right there a peg that is the same color as Goku's skin tone, so that is kind of weird. I don't know why that happened, but really not that big of a deal. It's practically concealed all of the time. It is kind of noticeable, though, if you get it in, like, certain poses, like Goku's in a kicking pose or whatnot. But that's nothing too major. As far as the actual aesthetics of the figure, the head on this sits really low on the neck. And to kind of compare how the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku is, like, compared to this thing, which is totally taking that mold, here it is right here, the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and you can tell that this Goku, the head on this totally sits really nicely on this neck, but this one just kind of has a lot of trouble. Like with this Goku, you can have him look up pretty far because he has so much actual neck room, but this one he's just maybe you can get him looking up a little bit, but that's mainly because of the ab crunch. He's going to be looking straight, and that's because, let me just take off the heads right here and compare them. The actual neck joint on this Goku is way too small compared to this one, and so it leaves that head sitting way too far on the actual neck, and I find that to be a problem, like with the way that the figure looks aesthetically, and actually being able to pose the figure into proper positions when handling it. I really wish that they could have not did that. I feel like they should have honestly had that, but you know, they are practically new to the whole thing of making figures, so I can kind of understand why they're making mistakes. But yeah, that is definitely a big problem that I find with this Kaioken Goku. And another issue that I found is the belt area right here. It is actually like a little bit loose compared to the one that I used to have on my Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. Not that big of a problem, though, but definitely noticeable. So let's actually get into the articulation of this thing. So Goku's head, it does look down a pretty decent amount. It does look not too far up, and I've already explained why. There's practically no movement right here in the actual lower neck part. Well, there actually is just a little bit, but it's nothing really major or anything like that. Shoulders right here, they got a standard joint right there, which is the same as the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. They do come out just a little bit, but not too much. You do got a bicep swivel right there, which is a little bit, it's like really tight in certain areas, but then it's like when you get to other parts, it gets like when turning this thing, it gets even tighter. So that's kind of weird. You get a really good double jointed elbow right there, and the wrists, they do go out and swivel, and it's pretty practically standard for how the figure arts articulation is. The ab crunch right here does move forward, not too far actually. And I'm just talking about the upper one. It doesn't move way too far, considering how high up this seems to be. Doesn't really move too back that far either, but it's pretty decent for like the actual waist joint, and it's not too bad for the actual price range. You're able to get this leg up going pretty far out and pretty far back. No really any issues there. You can bring the leg out that much, but what I notice is with this leg, when it comes to bringing out that part, you do run into a little bit of issues because, oh, okay, yeah, well, there you go. The thing just totally pops off if you mess around with the leg in the wrong way. So that is definitely an issue right there. You can just pop it back on though if that ever happens, so it's not too big of a deal. You are kind of limited right there with the upper thigh swivel right there on that actual leg. On this one, it's practically exactly how it is with figure art. So some parts of this figure are really done well when copying some parts of this figure is really well done when copying figure arts, but other parts there definitely is some room for improvement. Got the standard double jointed knees right there, and you got the same amount of articulation in the actual boot right there, and you do get some tilt right there in the toe. So overall, it's actually a fairly decent, but there is actually a quality control issue that I do have with this Goku, and it comes right here at the actual wrist. So I'm going to take off the hand right now, and you can actually, if you actually take a look at the wrist, the actual peg itself is kind of is having a little bit of trouble actually connecting to it. What I noticed is that when interchanging the hands, and let me just grab a Kamehameha type hand right here. We will go over the accessories in a second. If I put this hand in, oh shoot, and that hand right here is just way too tight to get in there sometimes, and it caused this peg to totally disconnect from the actual thing. You can kind of like put it back in there like just like that, but if you try to put it in there and you don't do it quite right, then yeah, you will have issues with it. And what I noticed is like when taking out the peg, it might actually sometimes it sticks to the actual Kamehameha hand, but it doesn't always do it. But I mean, it is a small actual issue, but it is an issue nonetheless. I do find it to be very troublesome and very annoying when actually handling this figure. So now let's actually go into the faces. So as for the actual faces, you do get a stern face right here, which does kind of look a little bit off. I noticed that when you're handling the face on this, he does look a little bit chubbier compared to the regular Saiyan raised on Earth Goku. You probably noticed it when I was making the comparison. Not that bad of a face, though. They did a really good job with that. Teeth gritted face, you got him looking off to the side, and it looks practically perfect when compared to the official release. And here's the screaming face, which it does have a little bit of a disappointing mark right there on that screaming face. This actually is something that happens quite often with the Demoniacal Fit heads as well. But when I had this mark on the Demoniacal Fit heads, I was able to just like kind of rub it off, and it would be gone, and I wouldn't even talk about it in the review because it's just like I didn't think it was anything that big. It wasn't even that big of an issue. But on this face, man, it's just like that little mark right there that I can't seem to get off no matter what. Might need to use some alcohol. It's pretty annoying. Not even gonna lie. And for the hands, you do get a pair of fists, which you've already seen. You do get a pair of Kamehameha type hands. You do get some style pose hands. You get one of those karate chop hands or waving type hands that you've seen already with the actual Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. And you do get an instant transmission hand. But my favorite accessory above all that they actually went and decided to include with this thing is the Kaioken Aura background. So in the initial SDCC Kaioken Goku release, they actually did include a practical non-paper type, but they actually, Demoniacal Fit actually went out of their way to include this aura, and it looks really good when you use it in a lot of areas. I honestly love that they included this aura. They could have used what they did with the initial auras that SH Figure Arts is, but the fact that we're even getting an aura in the first place, I actually find to be very, very, very convenient. I'm glad that they actually went and did that, and of course, in order to actually kind of hold this aura up, I'll show you right now. So here's the actual aura itself, and the way that you actually use it is there is this small connection piece that actually comes in the back of the box of the figure. So all you do is really just kind of slide the aura in there and make sure that you get it into the grooves properly. And yeah, there you go. You just set up the aura like that, and you can have Goku posed ready to go while powering up. I find this aura to be... I'm really glad that they added this aura. They really didn't have to, but they went and did it anyway. So, as for my overall thoughts on this figure... So overall, guys, this has been the review for the Kaioken Demoniacal Fit Goku. It's not the best figure in the world, but it is definitely the best from Demoniacal Fit, which really isn't saying much because it is their second figure in the line, but definitely a step in the right direction from what I've seen on the reviews of the Captain Ginyu. Oh my god, the legs on that figure are so incredibly loose. So having this in hand, not having to deal with any of those really loose joints that they had on the Captain Ginyu figure, I'm so glad to say that this is really something that is worth getting. I paid like $40 for this, but I have seen deals floating around the internet that had this thing for $20. So if you guys do manage to snag some kind of a good deal, or you see something like this Kaioken Goku floating around for $20, I definitely recommend you go and pick this up. I mean, there is absolutely going to be issues with this figure, but that's just how it is with Demoniacal Fit. They aren't the best, but they are absolutely learning, and I can't wait to see what Demoniacal Fit has in store in the future for their figures. So anyway, guys, go ahead and do what you do to the videos that you like, if you did, in fact, like this video. But if you don't, well, I mean, I'm better off without you anyway. Anyway, guys, this has been Star Blast Studios, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the comments section. Until then.